What's good? Hey, I want to talk about something while it's on my mind. And I'm going to tell you how it got on my mind. So, I'm watching this shit about Vanilla Ice. And I recall the whole scenario, you know. Even I looked at him like, this motherfucker, you know, what the fuck? And I remember the whole wannabe wigger shit at that time. I remember being around the same people that I grew up with and learning the same behaviors they learned, learning the same slang, but it was okay for them. And remember, I didn't grow with a whole lot of white people. I was more around Latinos. You know, I mean, I can literally name the Latinos I grew up with. It was almost always Latinos, and some blacks and some white people in there. But for the majority, it was Latino, and but it was more of a, I guess it would consider it a black culture. With that said, you know, it used to annoy the shit out of me. The whole white boy shit, white boy. Because you gotta understand, I grew up seeing the NWA. I mean, I remember being with the Lopez brothers at the damn roller skating ring when NWA first got big. And I recall always trying to fit in, because the fact of the matter is, what y'all don't know about me is I grew up in a completely broken home. Mother, she had a drug issue. Father gone since I was 2. No other family, none. Sister sent away to a girl's home, and it was I was on my own. So for me, sports was always the way I connected, from speed team roller skating to skateboarding to everything, soccer, basketball, weightlifting, wrestling. People all knew me because of all these sports, and that's how I connected with people. As far as truly having friends, man, I had very few people that I really let into my realm, because I was always such a loner, but also very sociable. So it was always kind of weird for me, you know. But back to what I'm talking about. So this whole racial shit, from a little kid, literally loving Motown, and that wasn't because the people around me were listening to it. I just thought it was beautiful music. So I sat here and grew up with a lot of people that we were learning the same slang, the same stuff. I remember even when, you know, the word nigga, what's up nigga? I remember when that came about, and everybody was saying it, and the same people that learned it just like I did would say it, but when I would say it, it was almost like, I could get into a fight over this. So I had to try to stop myself from saying it, even though I was never saying it in any derogatory kind of way. I was just saying it because it was a learned thing. Just like everything I learned, from y'all to keeping it real. I remember when I first heard that shit, keeping it real. I was like, keeping it real? Like, what do you mean, like a rail slide? I was thinking skateboarding, you know. What up, son? I remember someone first coming, I was like, that ain't your son. You know, everything's a learned behavior. And so growing up, you know, having to be considered like a wannabe when everybody around me learned the behavior just like I did, it was silly to me. It was actually disrespectful to me. It was annoying as shit. So I would associate with people. I'd get somewhat close with people, but I'd only get somewhat close. You know what I mean? So, like, if you see me these days, everywhere I go, people know me. But do I have true friends? Well, to me, those are friends to me. That's what I've grown up to make as friends for me, because it's comfortable for me to keep people at somewhat of a distance. Now, in relationships, sometimes it's a little difficult, but like I said, man, I've been basically on my own since a little kid. I mean, shit, I was getting in trouble as a little kid. Do you understand? I was first caught shoplifting at 6 years old. I was smoking Marlboro 100s at 6 years old. I had some other serious issues at that age too. And what can you say? You know, my sister was sent to a girl's home at 15. I ran away at 15. And for me, true friends were, you know, the Ortizes, Ulysses, Axel, Brani, Saul. You know, I lived with a Puerto Rican family for a while, but we didn't look at it like that. I never saw color like that. I don't give a shit about that. Matter of fact, the world has always put it on me more than I put it on them, to a point that if I would have really listened to it, I would have been a skinhead motherfucker, because that's how I was being treated. But the reality is, it was always stupid. To this day, it's just stupid to me, you know? And then I want to talk about something else. So this came up because I was watching this Vanilla Ice thing. So People hate Vanilla Ice, call him fake, this and that, third. The reality is, people like Vanilla Ice, Eminem, Elvis, of course, or let's talk about the Beatles. People say they stole black music. They didn't. No one stole nothing. No black person came out their mother's vagina bumping hip hop. It's a learned behavior. Everything's a learned behavior. Now these guys grew up in more poverty, just like I did. So they learned from their surroundings and it became a learned behavior. They're not the ones to blame. The ones to blame is the people marketing them, which is a lot of the white people. Those white people, I get it. Fuck them. Straight up, fuck them. Those are the people that I are promoting it. Now, the only good thing about these white people that did actually start getting noticed is that by them getting noticed, the truth came out about where they got it from, and so the black people started getting the respect that they deserved. That's just what it is. But those actual people, I don't think they stole it. They just grew up in environments, and that's what they learned. There's, like I said, it's the people that promoted them that are the one to blame. But racism is still alive today, and I'll tell you, as a white guy, you know, how many white people I've been around that will look at me and instantly jump to judgment and start talking some shit that I'm looking at them like, you're a fucking asshole, man. You know what I mean? But they look at me and they jump to that conclusion because I'm a bald white guy. Same issue with Latinos and blacks that growing up around will jump to that conclusion and misjudge me. So I've been really stuck in a real fucking limbo. Sometimes I think that I'm just meant to be this way because my blood's O negative, and which is a universal blood. My blood can save all your lives, but the only one that can help me has to be another O negative. So it's almost like I start wondering, is it all in the blood? With that said, man, you know, I've seen some shit that it's just on both sides that it makes sense why I'm on my own a lot, and I keep things at a distance from my family life to the things I've had to deal with. It makes perfect sense why I am the way I am. Now, growing up, that it bothered me a little bit because I would see other people's families and think like, why me? But I'm just lucky to be alive. I'm appreciative that I've been able to go through all this, and I feel like I'm at a point where I can give back and help others and maybe help people through this ignorance, because it really it's all ignorance. And if anybody has an ignorant comment to leave me after this, well, I'm not going to respond. You know why? Because what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, let me tell you something. The book, whenever I've shown the book anywhere, people will jump on me and attack me. Women are going at me on the book. Like it's crazy how they're going at me, and they don't even know it. All they're saying is, oh, you support Casey Anthony. You're giving Casey Anthony money. That's not the case at all. And, you know, I'm at a point in my life that I realize how lucky I am to be here, and I'm just so appreciative. And the reality is, whenever people spew hate at you, they just haven't gotten to that point that now I've gone to. And I get it, because when I was down on myself, you know, the whole misery loves company. I get it, man. But you got to realize, don't take people personally that bring you misery. They only bring you misery because they've yet to find that joy. And the only way to fight misery and I guess evil is joy and appreciation. At the end of the day, everything we were put here, everything on this earth is a gift. You made it here, so love you, love everything. And whenever something tries to take that love away from you, just know that that's not really them. That's a thought going into their head. Because evil can only come at you with thoughts. Thoughts are evil. You know right. Prime example, when you're in the top of a building, a lot of guys, I don't know about women, but a lot of guys, you get to the top of a building, if you climb to the top, you're going to want to go stand on the edge. Something in you will say, go stand on the edge. And then you'll be like, oh, it's not windy. And you'll try to convince yourself to stay on the edge. Which is stupid, because a damn seagull can whack you in the head. Whatever. You know you shouldn't. Without thought, you know you shouldn't. But that thought gets in your head. Same thing as when you're depressed, you start having thoughts to do crazy stuff. Prime example, Eminem, Slim Shady. I knew this from the get-go. When he was rapping to Slim Shady, you know, he was rapping as an alter ego, not an alter ego. He's rapping as a thought that goes through our head, a crazy thought that we know not to act on. But so many people grasped onto that, which is sad, because it shows you how many people are really not appreciative of their lives and wanting to have more joy in their lives. You know, So many people grasp onto that, and the problem with that is when you grasp onto that, it starts becoming more acceptable. So you start wanting to listen to those thoughts more. When the reality is, you should be listening to just the know-how, not the thought, but the know-how. You know, like you know if something's right or wrong, and you shouldn't do it. And trust me, I battled that my whole life. I always made excuses for all the crap I did, from stealing here, there, taking shit out of people's cars for years. I mean, you gotta understand something. When I ran away from home, I came home only to find out some crazy shit, which led to me going from running away, having the highest GPA change in school, to coming home, and next thing I know, I'm going to neighborhoods robbing from people's cars every night, stealing Christmas gifts, stealing everybody's shit. But at the same time, things were happening, and I was believing more and more in karma. I swear to God, karma was a bitch. But guess what? That's because I was doing wrong. I always thought something was owed to me. I always thought I meant well, so things should go well for me. But the reality is, it wasn't about me just meaning well. But meaning well is why something did actually lead me in the right direction, which ultimately was me losing everything to realize the truth. And the truth was, I wasn't being appreciative of what's right in front of me. Life. Don't wake up and chase happiness. Be happy you're here. If I told you tomorrow you're going to wake up without a leg, and then all of a sudden you woke up with a leg, tell me you want to be happy. You know, it's all perspective. But if you do that little in your perspective, everything changes. Karma is a beautiful thing, but it only comes when you're appreciative. You don't jump things and expect things. You just be happy for what you got, and you show joy to the world, and something will come back and give you gifts. But you can't do it for gifts. See, that's you don't appreciate life and be happy for gifts. You realize you are the gift, and that makes you happy. So when the gifts come and you start doing all the things and succeeding in all the things you thought you would, you're going to be happy about it. But the reality is, it's not going to be over exuberant because you're already happy to begin with. But check it out. If you're not happy and you're expecting to achieve something for happiness, and if it doesn't happen, you'll get down and depressed. But if you're appreciative of your life, something doesn't work out, it's okay, because you're already appreciative of your life, and so depression starts going away. Anxiety starts going away. Your life starts changing overnight once you finally get that bigger picture. And I just want to share that with you guys. And I'm just going off on whatever. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about now. With that said, love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And be appreciative, man, because evil can strike like this. My good friend Willie Diaz sounded like he was doing really good in his life. Turned 40, went on from what I hear, a drug binge, and next thing I know, he's facing 70 years. Got knocked down to 10. 6 months later, died from throat cancer. Evil is always trying to get you. So every time you have a thought that leads you in the wrong direction, stop for a minute and be careful. And get back to being happy. And I don't mean get back to being happy like something has to happen to be happy, but get back to realizing that you are special and you are lucky to be here. Amen, brother. You guys take care, man. Keith Williams, over and out.